This video is going to be a film study look at Tim Patrick, who's returning after 2 seasons away from the NFL, or 2 seasons sitting out for injury. I believe an ACL in 2022 and then an Achilles last year in 2023. I'm a Ravens content creator. I remember when the Ravens went to Denver in 2021, week 4. I think they won like 21-7 or 23-7, something like that. Tim Patrick, Courtland Sutton, those guys are big, physical, strong receivers, guys who can make contested catches. I'll be honest with you, I didn't know up until about 3 weeks ago that Tim Patrick had missed 2 seasons. In my mind, I thought he had just missed one. So a cool story to see him back in week 1 of the preseason. I think he had one catch for 14 yards. This past week, more extensive use. Bo Nix found him for a touchdown that I covered in what's called One Play Wednesday, a series that I do on Wednesdays to kind of illustrate interesting or noteworthy plays from across the NFL. Patrick looks like he's ready to go. They have a lot of wide receiver options there. They signed Josh Reynolds from the Lions as well. I'm rooting for him to make a complete comeback in terms of contribution to the Broncos offense. Let's get the film started, and we'll look at from the first possession. Patrick's going to have a short catch over the middle. He's the number 3 receiver in trips. Bo Nix and the Broncos trying to figure out the coverage. It ends up being a zone cover 2 look down here to the bottom side. Patrick just sits underneath of the inside linebackers in the middle of the field. Nix finds him quickly. Strong catcher of the football, in my opinion, from what I recall. This one he's lined up as the slot to the bottom side of the screen, play action. I think the Broncos called similar concepts to this 3 times with Bo Nix in there, in fact, including the touchdown that I'll show you to finish the second possession. But it's a fake toss, full flow here, and they're making it look like pin pull. So where you pin down on a defensive end or outside linebacker with the receiver, and then the play side tackle pulls out into space to lead with a fullback and a tailback who obviously has the ball. But it's not. It's a play action off of it, and Tim Patrick is making contact with the D tackle. Perhaps incidentally, I'm not sure that he's actually supposed to. Him and Courtland Sutton, their routes are layered from left to right. Basically a flood concept from the opposite side of the field. Strong throw off his back foot by Bo Nix. If you've ever played baseball, moving to your right, or any sport, quarterback, obviously would be the main one. Moving to your right as a right-handed quarterback, easy to throw the ball, you think. It's not, especially when you're off kind of like the wrong foot a little bit in terms of your balance, and you got to get the ball there quickly. End zone angle, same play. So you'll see what I'm talking about as far as incidental contact between the receiver and this defensive tackle here. Sutton and Patrick both lined up pretty tight together, so the routes are almost in a straight line, and Nick's throw, I think, is pretty impressive. I think it ends up going down for 10, 11 yards. Let it run back one or 2 more times. Very strong and accurate throw, and again, clean catcher of the football from what I recall. No sign at all of the ACL and then Achilles injuries that he suffered the last 2 years. Second possession, it's a 3rd and 9. Patrick's going to get the conversion. It's a middle curl against a Tampa 2. So he's trying to threaten a vertical here. Up the middle of the field. It's a Tampa 2, so these 2 safeties are kind of splitting. And then the Mike linebacker in this defense has got to run with any vertical in between the hashes. So 59 is trying to tempo and stay on top of Tim Patrick's route. So Patrick is threatening like he's going on a vertical, and then he's going to sit this down right in the middle, underneath of that inside linebacker, and then in between the 2 hook droppers or hash droppers in a Tampa 2. And again, strong arm by Bo Nix. Understood the coverage quickly. And then Patrick sat it down. Perfectly timed throw. Like I said, 3rd and 9. I think it went for 14 yards. End zone angle, same play. Patrick is left-hand side of our screen. It's an empty set. Nix put the running back out to chip on the outside linebacker / DN. I think it's Van Ness. You don't have the inside linebacker. He's off screen in the middle of our screen at the bottom. Obviously, he's been pushed off because of the route. You can see the space that's been created and the triangulated nature of the zone defense. Nix found Patrick settling into the zone perfectly. Sutton and Patrick down here at the bottom side of the screen. Again, they're both 6'3", 6'4" guys, along with Josh Reynolds' big receiving core, along with some of the speed guys that they've drafted in the last couple of years. This one, Patrick is trying to push off here vertically. I'm not sure why he's going inside of this second level defender. I think he's just trying to stay in a seam relationship to push off this safety and then allow Sutton to have all of this space between the top of the numbers and the hash, one-on-one with this corner who's taking a man turn. Regardless of whether it's man or zone there with that corner, the idea is Patrick is getting off vertically or trying to occupy the safety, threaten him enough such that he can't go help out. You can see the ball is already out Sutton before Sutton really even makes his break. I think it ends up going down as a 23-yard gain. And then finally, the cheat play / hide concept. Really cool adaptation to bring the receiver from the backside on this. I call it a cheat play whenever the quarterback and running back are full flow to the same side. So you get a reverse pivot by the quarterback. He's not really necessarily going on that angle. And oftentimes they're pinning down on the defensive end, the edge defender, such that he can't get out and disrupt the quarterback in his throw. In this case, they're not pinning down on him. They're making him think it's a run concept to his side. He identified it quickly. I thought he played it quite well. And from the backside, Tim Patrick is fitting underneath of that outside linebacker / DN. That's the hide element of this. He's running behind the offensive line from the other side. Some people call it a slide. Some people call it bluff, whatever you want to call it. But in any case, it leads to a touchdown. We'll give the end zone angle one more time so you can see it. Again, I did a film study video on this, kind of explaining the concept and how multiple teams run it already in the preseason. The Ravens ran it in week 2 for a touchdown as well. So did the Eagles in week 1, ironically, against the Ravens. It's generally used as a goal line short yardage play with the hands that Tim Patrick has and his intelligence, his ability to fit into tight windows or small spots. It doesn't surprise me that he will be used down on the goal line in multiple fashions. In the slot, as an outside receiver, fades or fade outs. I'm looking forward to seeing how he progresses, seeing how he can contribute this year in that offense. The limited amount of time that I was able to watch Broncos film this week, about 4 possessions from week 2 of the preseason against the Packers, certainly looked clean. Bo Nix looked extremely impressive. Looks like he's taken to both the under center and the shotgun concepts. And for Tim Patrick in his second game back to have, I think, 4 catches for 30 yards was encouraging. And I'd like to see more in the regular season, as long as they're not playing the Ravens, obviously. In any case, if you appreciated this film study look at Tim Patrick and the contribution he's able to have after 2 seasons off due to injury, then please consider grabbing a link to this video, sharing it out on social media so other Broncos fans can enjoy it as well. Appreciate you guys' time.